Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Slice of Fried Gold. What's that on that car? Is that Mr. Tickle?
That was a Mr. Tickle. You're distracting me. Nearly stalled.
Sorry, man.
That was a Mr. Tickle on the windscreen wiper.
As you do.
As you do.
If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like this video. Ring that notification bell. Comment down below. If you're listening to us on Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Comment down below there as well. My name's Paddy.
I'm Ben.
And Ben, how are you?
Why is there a Mr. Tickle on there?
I don't know. That's why I was so distracted.
I mean, one.
One.
No, there's not even a sort of a protection of the windscreen or anything.
No?
I don't know. So there was a time when, I go to the pub quizzes on Mondays.
Yes.
And there was one week where it was a Disney-themed quiz.
Mm.
And the quiz master would give out spot prizes.
Mm.
And the spot prize we won when we got the question the fastest was a Moana doll. As you know, because I tried to pawn it off on you.
It was an Encanto doll.
Encanto doll. See, that's just... The worrying thing is...
Get it right.
The worrying thing is I was the main answer guesser in the Disney quiz. We ended up like 4th or 5th, and if it wasn't for me, we would have been like 20th. So the fact that I've got that completely wrong is
That's
just
hilarious.
worrying. But anyway,
Yeah.
we won this Encanto doll, and before I tried to pawn it off on you, I tried to pawn it off on a guy there.
Okay.
And because I know he has nieces.
Okay.
And he was like, no, I don't want it. And I was like, yes, take it. And he's like, no, I don't want it. And I was like, yes, take it. And blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he tries to leave without it. I go running, like literally, I'm like, I'll be back, guys.
Take my toy!
Run down the street after him and shove it in his hands. And I think, right, great, fantastic. Jobs are good in.
Yeah.
But then he knew where my car was parked.
That's hilarious.
So then what he did is he went to my car and left it on my windscreen.
That's funny.
And when I came back to the car park, initially I thought it was a ticket. I was like, no!
Oh,
I've got a ticket! And then as I got closer, I was like, hang on a minute. That's that Encanto doll. Motherfucker. But I got rid of it, so it is what it is. Also, we need to celebrate!
What, more stuff?
Yes! It's been 2 weeks since I've been in London. Which means I definitely didn't get a speeding ticket. Not that I sped. I am not admitting to any speeding. But it's been 2 weeks since I've been in London, and I have not got a speeding ticket. So now we know for definite I didn't speed. I'm not saying that I did. I just want to put that out there in case any policemen are listening. I am not admitting to any crimes.
Oh, God.
It's just sometimes you're driving along, and you kind of...
You got a heavy foot?
No, I do have a heavy foot. But sometimes you go into autopilot without realising.
Yeah.
And there was a moment when I went into autopilot, there was speed cameras, I looked down, and...
Okay, don't say anything else. You're just incriminating yourself.
I'm not saying I sped, but... And then also, there was a moment where I was going through some roadworks, and it went down to 40.
And you went down to 40 as well?
I went down to 40 as well.
Yes.
And then I was talking to someone who lives in London, and he'd recently driven down that road, and he did the same speed as I did, but he got a ticket. So I was like, oh no! But
40.
he did 40 as well, yes.
He got a ticket at 40, which
He got a
was the
ticket at
limit
40.
that he was supposed to be doing.
Yes.
There was a slight technical error.
Yes.
He was not speeding.
No. But yes, it's been 2 weeks since then, so I'm in the clear. I do find, generally, if I've gone on long trips, I kind of worry for the next 2 weeks. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe there's a secret camera, maybe there's a hidden camera, even though they're not supposed to be hidden.
But you always do the speed limit, so you have nothing ever to worry about.
Mostly.
You have nothing ever to worry about.
No.
Do not incriminate yourself.
No, because you are like, if there's a dangerous driver, you are allowed to to get away from them.
Yeah.
And sometimes there's someone who's probably a bit swervy.
Sometimes there's a lot of dangerous drivers when Ben's driving around.
Yeah. Oh, there's two on the way to Ipswich today. There was 2 drivers who were having a proper argument.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know why though, because like they were both speeding. One was right up behind the other, and this is the thing. This is a question for you, Paddy.
Okay.
When is road rage allowed? As a non-driver, when is road rage allowed? I fully get if you're not doing the speed limit and you've got someone right up behind you, they are fully allowed to get angry at you. You're not doing the speed limit, speed up. But if you're already speeding and someone's right up behind you and getting angry at you, is that road rage allowed?
No, of course not.
No.
Okay. Especially, I assume this was on the A14 as well.
Yes.
So you could have probably easily overtaken.
No, because there was a load of slow traffic in the left-hand lane, and so they were both in the right-hand lane. Also, that's another thing, but carry on with your reasoning.
Okay, well, no. If that person is already doing more than they should be, and you're behind them doing more than you should be by law, then you have no claim on road rage.
No.
It's ridiculous.
And yet he was getting proper aggy. So then when the guy in front pulled over into the left-hand lane, wound his window down and actually stuck his middle finger out.
No! Legend! What a move!
That's how I clocked it was happening, because all of a sudden you saw his hand just go boom out the window. And I was like, oh my god!
He must have very long arms.
But this is the thing. So there was a lot of traffic in the left-hand lane.
Yeah.
Because there was an ambulance with its blues and twos on.
Oh.
But the thing is the ambulance, blues and twos on, only doing about 67. So of course everyone's like, oh, shouldn't I?
And it's when police are doing like 69 miles per hour and you're doing 70 and you feel naughty and you're just like, I am accidentally overtaking a police officer, but I'm not
doing the speed limit.
I'm doing the speed limit, but I feel like a badass motherfucker.
The police don't have their lights on. This ambulance had its blues and twos on. It'd gone round the roundabout out of Felixstowe with the siren on and the lights on. It's come out of the roundabout. It's turned the siren off, but it's still got its lights on.
Okay.
So of course everyone's like, do I not? Is this, you know, and that's kind of the thing. So these guys came shooting up. The first car clocked the ambulance.
Yeah.
And then was like, And then of course the other guy behind him got proper aggy. And then the ambulance pulled off and that's when they had their little tiff and it was like, oh my god. And yeah.
Fair play.
How are you, Paddy?
I'm good.
You're good.
For the sake of this recording, we're seeing each other quite close to we're seeing each other sooner than we would normally.
Yes.
As I am covering holidays, so I'm all over the place off with my days off and things like this. I'm okay. We've not really had any issues customer-wise. It was a weird weekend. I don't know why. I feel like it's because it's like payday this weekend. We were still busy, but we weren't like crazy busy.
Yeah.
But because the weather's been nice, and then like 2 minutes later, it's been gale force winds. Like nobody knows what they're doing with their day. So like 1 minute we're really, really quiet, and then suddenly it rains, and everybody goes, "Oh, well, we'll go out for lunch," and then suddenly a horde of humans come out my fucking door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's got cold over the last few days.
I've had to put the heating back on.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I can't dry the laundry out.
No.
It's I can't fathom it. I get April showers, fine, but
we're nearly in May.
And it's cold.
And we have the heating on.
And the heating is on. I don't appreciate it.
No.
And I mean, you know my flat gets cold anyway.
Yeah. We should be gearing up for double digits now. And according to the weather forecast, we're back at 3 degrees.
I know. I know, literally, it was like when we had that weekend of like warm weather, I was literally in the pub garden in shorts.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 days later, I'm putting the heating back on because I'm freezing in my own home.
Yeah.
But because of that, we're like, especially on like a weekend, Sunday lunch, for example, we're very weather dependent because if it's really hot, then people aren't coming out and necessarily having a roast dinner.
No.
So we find that, and especially in the summer, lunch is quieter and then dinner is the busy one. So, but we're kind of in the lull in between where it's kind of like we're busy at lunch but not as busy as we should be, and we're busier at dinner but not as busy as we should be at dinner. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a weird void bit in the middle that we don't really know what's going on at the moment.
Fun.
But yeah, it's great. But we haven't really had any issues. We've had a lot of nice returning customers. It's been quite nice. We've had a nice group of people in lately, which makes a nice change. But yeah, nothing really to report apart from the weather. It makes me just sound very quintessentially British.
Yeah. Oh, I told one of my customers that I'd got a promotion. And he was like, "Oh, congratulations!" He's like, "Does this mean we're going to have someone else looking after us?" And I was like, "No, I'll still be looking after you." And he goes, "So what's going to change?" And without thinking, I just went, "My email signature."
That was hilarious.
That's all that's going to change, really.
It's like when I my assistant manager when she got her promotion and everything, got the official title. She was sending out emails and stuff, and she was just still like signing her name. And I was just like after a week, and I went to her and went, "You do know you get to put assistant manager underneath your name now?"
Yeah.
And she went, "Oh yeah!" So then, something after that, it was like assistant manager.
Well, no, it's just part of the promotion was you're still expected to do the job you currently do.
Of course.
Maybe delegate a little bit out because you've got other responsibilities now. But yeah, so when he was like, "Oh, we're going to lose you," I was like, "No, you're not going to lose me. It's just my email signature's going to look different."
You could have really thought about that, Ben, and gone, "You know what? I've had to give up some of my customers, but I like you so much that I'm keeping you on." And just to butter them up a little bit, you know what
I don't need to do that because I was the one who made the mistake of giving out my private mobile number to him.
Oh, is it that one? Right,
and then, I clocked, because of course if you add someone through WhatsApp, it shows you their name on WhatsApp, and he has a nickname on WhatsApp.
That's hilarious.
So next time I spoke to him, I was like, "Hey, nickname." And he's like, "How do you know that?" I was like, "Is your name on WhatsApp?" And that's how my phone added you. And he's like, "All right, okay, cool. You can call me that if you want." I was like,
"Yes!" Unbelievable.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So we're fine. We're cool.
We're cool. We're there.
But of course, yeah. So he was just like, "Yeah, cool. Yeah, nothing's going to change."
Yeah. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, fair enough. It sounds like we've had a nice chill few days since we've last seen each other.
No, it's just there's no real point complaining about work for me because it's not really a relatable thing. I had lots of files to do. Yeah. Paperwork. Data entry. Hitting buttons. Getting annoyed at other people not hitting buttons.
Yeah, always helpful.
There you go, relatable.
To be fair, that's probably like half of the world.
Yeah.
Because I don't do that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, should we talk film?
Let's talk film.
So we have just been to see Abigail. Do you want to go first or me go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Okay.
So it defines itself as a horror film.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a horror film.
It's not a horror film.
It's a... Right, before I say anything, is it revealed in the trailer what's killing them?
Yes, because I was going to bring that up.
Okay, it's a vampire slasher film.
Yes.
It's not a horror, it's a vampire slasher.
With comedy.
With a little sprinkling of comedy.
Yeah.
That was mostly the Canadian guy. I don't know if the actor was Canadian, but the character was Canadian.
Yes.
He was hilarious.
It was so funny.
He was brilliant. And his timing was just... It was brilliant for comedy. But you know what? At the end of the day, whilst it wasn't a horror film, it wasn't what I was expecting. I liked the twist. You know, the classic, you get a group of strangers into a location and a mysterious thing starts picking them off one by one.
Yeah.
Whereas this flips it on the head of these people kidnap a little girl and then their victim is the one who starts hunting them down. That's not really done, and so it was kind of like a twist on the usual storyline. I appreciated it. Mm-hmm. That being said, whilst it was a twist on the storyline, nothing really shocked me. You could follow the storyline quite easily. Yeah, there was the only real sort of plot twists were the big named actor reveals. Yeah. But that's not really a plot twist. That's just a look who we got in the film. Yeah. Kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I'll bounce off that. For me, I was very shocked at the amount of... I don't know if somebody had, managed to slip into somebody's contract somewhere that they had to sign up for this film. But it had quite a few big names. Yeah. I knew from the trailer anyway, but I didn't realise the lengths that those characters were going to go through. Yeah. But yeah. No, sorry.
Well acted, I will say, on all parts. Like I said,
Mhm.
the guy who played the Canadian character, very funny.
Yeah.
All very well acted. I would say great cinematography, but it was just blood and guts on blood and guts.
Yeah.
So that's probably where all their budget went.
Yeah.
And yeah, the child actress, because we do have to shout out child actresses, because
I was gonna shout out.
We always say child actors are a bit hit or miss.
Well, they always say in Hollywood, don't work with children
or animals. And this child is very good. Thumbs up. Nothing else really to say, Paddy?
Like you, I thought this story was good. It is not the story I thought it was going to be because of the twists and turns at the end. Obviously, the movie is called Abigail, so you know who the main person is.
Yeah.
It's like Chucky, it's the doll.
Yeah.
It's that kind of premise in that film. But with the twists and turns at the end, I enjoyed that aspect of it. Shout out to I was going to get a name up. I forgot to prep. But she's new Matilda in the musical one, and do you know what? I think she's a bit of a rising star. She's doing a bit more stuff. We've seen her in something else recently as well. I feel like she's going to be one of those ones that we see bloom and blossom and do some more. Like, she's already shown her range at her age.
Yep.
Because, she's done musical. Yes, obviously she plays a ballerina in this as well. But she obviously has the acting bit. She knows how to act. Her timing is good.
Yep.
She's obviously got natural talent, which is a massive, massive help. But yeah, everybody else in it, really well acted. I thought it was a fresh take on, like you said, like a traditional, everybody's in a building and then, so normally they read a book or they unleash some demon from a jar or something. But I like the twist that they had brought the monster with them.
Yeah.
My one critique would be, actually, I wish they hadn't, spoilt that bit. Had named it something else.
Right, yeah.
And the twist, so that way we wouldn't have known. So I think because, that, you said, you seemed bored at the start. It wasn't that because I was bored. It was because when they were, when the first one or two got
It took a while to get going.
Yeah, but that was also because I felt like that was because we knew it was her.
Yeah.
So we were just sitting there going, right, so when are we going to reveal it and get into it?
Yeah.
Where I feel like if they had named it something else and hadn't advertised, it was that situation.
Considering in the storyline, Abigail had a nickname.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have named it that.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think. And that's where I think they could have done it.
Yeah.
But then they would have had to have... I had a quick look at the budget. It seems very low budget. I think it was only 25 mil.
And all that would have gone on the blood and guts.
Yeah. And there was a lot of that.
Yeah. Okay, question for you. Because they call it Abigail,
Yeah.
do you think they would have been better to do it from her perspective and she's the main character? Because, of course, the film's named after her, but she's actually she's the monster that they're trying to escape from.
Yeah.
How about if they flipped it on its head and that she's the protagonist?
Well, and
it's you're watching her take these people down.
Well, I mean, that would have been interesting as well, seeing it from her point of view. But I do think, and we've talked about this before in trailers, is that sometimes trailers either give everything away or that they completely tell you a completely different story. And I feel like, it's in the name of the movie.
Yeah.
That it's about this person.
I think,
but they could have, with the footage that they had for the first 25 minutes, they could have easily not shown that it was her.
Yeah.
So
I get that.
And that,
They could have even in the trailer used the nickname to be like,
Yeah.
we've kidnapped this girl. Now this nickname person
Yeah.
is after us.
We're saying nickname because I can't remember what it is.
Valdez.
Oh, Valdez. Yeah. I couldn't remember what it was.
I was trying to be like, let's not reveal it, blah, blah, blah. But no.
It doesn't matter.
But then again, saying if they called it Abigail and it done from her perspective, we'd have just been comparing it to John Wick and Monkey Man, which we saw last week. The fact that, they've put it that she's the traditional villain or monster, and you're still with like the normal characters trying to escape, even though they are technically the bad guys.
Yeah.
But then she's slightly the bad guy, and for plot twist reasons.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things. I think it was just because the way I see it is that the first 20 odd minutes was a bit slow, but that was only because they were trying to build suspense on something that we already knew.
Yeah.
And that was the only niggle for me. Mm-hmm. Overall, I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah.
Our man who was playing the Canadian guy, great comedic timing, funny, good cinematography, great use of practical effects as well with the blood, because a lot of that could have easily been CGI.
Yeah.
But they did a lot of practical stuff, which I always think is good. I've said this before. I like seeing practical effects, especially like blood, guts, zombies, monsters, all that kind of stuff. It gives it grounding in a film, and it's even better for like your CGI to work on it as a template to enhance, as opposed to just completely create it. But yeah, I thought it was just all around. It was just a really good story. It was a fun time at the cinema. It's not one that you have to concentrate.
Nope.
Which is also like a good film. Sometimes you can get that. Sometimes, especially like we said, horror, but it's not really horror. But sometimes they can be so overcomplicated that you kind of lose your plot and everything. But I thought it was very clever. My question is, and I was going to bring this up a little bit further on, but as I'm kind of in that realm, do you think that this will now spark sequels and or prequels of situations of this happening to other people? Or do you think they will keep it one and done?
If it makes enough money,
Well,
they will. I think they'll look to going down the Saw route. If they make enough money. But the way the cinema is at the moment, I don't think it will make enough money.
It's got a low enough budget.
It's got a low enough budget, and you know what? Because we go to the cinema a lot, that was one of the more fuller screens.
It was.
20 people?
Yeah. But for context, it is Monday.
It is Monday.
You know, it came out on Friday a few days ago. So it's had the weekend numbers, and today's Monday, you know? So
it's possible. But yeah, Hollywood doesn't seem to understand the whole concept of one and done anymore.
No.
If a film makes money, they want to milk it for all it's worth.
Joker 2.
Ooh, are we not positive about Joker 2?
I don't know if they need it. I love Joker. I thought it was an outstanding movie.
Yeah.
My question is, if this movie, I like the trailer. I think there's really interesting aspects.
Mm-hmm.
My problem is that if it's not as good as the first one, I feel like it will tarnish the first one for its story and its if it enhances it, and if you watch like say both back to back and it completes like the whole story arc, then and it works, then great. Then obviously it was meant to. But considering that like when they first like brought out Joker and everybody was like, will you do a sequel? And they were like, no, it doesn't need it. This is a story in itself. Yeah. And then a couple of years later, they've gone, oh yeah, we're going to do a second one. It makes me wonder whether or not they've just made this for making it now.
Yeah. So I don't know. My concern for it, and bearing in mind, I have not watched the trailer.
Oh, okay.
Because, my thing of don't watch trailers, go into films with open minds.
Yeah, I try not to.
My concern with it is, of course, post the... Oh, that's the curb. That's my alloys as well. First time I've done that in a My concern is, I'm trying to think of the words. Come on, English. Do now. When the first film came out, the Joker became kind of like not a hero, but sort of like there was people who
he was like a Guy Fawkes, isn't he? Like V for Vendetta. Like people like understood what he stood for.
Yeah, and it was
it was like
the
right thing.
the under pressured people who've been told to sit down and be silenced. I'm using these big quotes, big air quotes. People who were told to sit down and shut up because you blah blah blah. They sort of took a shine to him, and they're like, look, this guy gets it. He's sitting there, because the big takeaway quote is, and I'm tired of fucking pretending that it is. Kind of thing. And it was like, that really spoke to a lot of people, to the point where some people, we don't get political in this podcast,
we don't,
but some people were like, oh, he is the epitome of toxic masculinity.
Yeah.
My concern is are they going to try and use this second film to make him a toxic masculinity figure in an attempt to get people off the original? Because the original was a culture moment.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's my concern for it. As I said, I haven't watched the trailer. I don't know what's going to happen. I keep an open mind. But if they use this film to try and turn him into a toxic masculinity figure, because that's what they're accusing the fans of being, it's going to be an absolute shit show. Yeah,
and if it is, it will, like I said, it's going to ruin the first one.
DC film you don't like.
Hey, there's been a couple-ish that I didn't love.
Okay, there'll be a Batman character DC film you don't like.
Okay.
There we go, more specific.
Yeah, okay.
We ignore the Wonder Womans and the Aquamans and the DC Batman DC film.
I still haven't watched Aquaman 2.
No, neither have I. I'm surprised you haven't, because surely it's out on streaming by now.
Yeah, but it's to buy only. You can't rent it. I'm not going to pay 20 quid to buy it. I want to wait until it's like a £5 to rent, and then I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to, like...
I have one word to say to that. What? Yarr. Nothing's...
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not incriminating anything, or anything, or anyone.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we don't talk about that.
Arr.
Anyway, should we do final thoughts?
Final thoughts. 2 weeks. That's all you got to worry about.
If you're driving back and forth from London, it's 2 weeks.
If you don't get a speeding ticket within 2 weeks, you're in the clear. Just remember that.
Exactly. Weather be weathering.
Yeah. What else did we talk about? I've forgotten already.
I didn't really have much to say, to be honest. So, Abigail, solid entertaining time at the cinema, I thought. Yeah. I think it's worth watching.
If the driver in front of you is already speeding,
you
do not have any excuse to be road raging.
Yeah, you have no right to road rage.
Just accept it.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to, he could whack his brakes on and do the same speed as everyone in the slow lane in the left-hand lane.
Yeah, and if you're speeding and he suddenly puts his brakes on, then that's your fault.
Yeah.
And
Abigail's okay film. And Joker 2,
we'll find out in a few months.
Yes.
But with that all being said, thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell. If you listen to us on Spotify, please do give us a 5-star review and comment down below there as well. Thank you very much for joining us, and see you in the next one.
Bye guys.
Cheers. Bye.